Never allow the challenges in life to disconnect you from the presence of your maker. One of the wisdom of Joseph was that no matter what happened to him, he was never disconnected from the presence of God. The Bible said in Genesis chapter 39, reading from verse 1, the Bible said, and Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, and Egyptian, bought him from the Ishmaelite, which has brought him also down to Tita. And the Lord was with Joseph, and as long as the Lord was with Joseph, he was prosperous. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man. Never allow the challenges of life to disconnect you from the presence of God. And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison. Look at that. From his father's house, he landed into a pit. The Bible said, and his brethren dropped him in a pit, took him out and sold him to Midians. And from the Midian hands, they also sold him to the Ishmaelites. And from the Ishmaelites, they sold him to Potiphar. And Potiphar took him, and in the house of Potiphar, he did very well. He was a prosperous man until a Jezebel arrived. And when a Jezebel arrived, he was thrown into a dungeon. But with all these things, the guy never disconnected himself from God. But the Lord was with Joseph. So where you are doesn't matter. What happens to you in life should not take the presence of God from you, should not cut you off from the presence of God. It doesn't matter what happens to you. You know, most times what happens to you in life is not as important as what happens in you. And so Joseph saw that the presence of God was very, very important. Let me put it this way. It doesn't matter what the enemy took from you, as long as they cannot disconnect you from the presence of God. What they took will be refunded. The worst form of loss in life is not the loss of friendship, it's not the loss of money or property, but the loss of connection to the presence of God. Your connection to your maker is your connection to your success. Your connection to your maker is your guarantee to success and progress in life. Your connection to your maker is your connection to your making. Connection to God will command the flow of good. Connection to your source is connection to your resources. And God with a person is more enough. I once told you, it doesn't matter what is absent as long as God is with you. But if God is not also with you, it doesn't matter what is present. Life is incomplete. It doesn't matter what is absent as long as you have connectivity with God. Life is complete. And life is also incomplete with the presence of all things in the earth without the presence of God. So note this: the gain of maintaining God's presence far outweighs the cost of it. Number two, the cost of maintaining God's presence is cheaper than the price of existence outside God. Number three, the greatest wisdom on earth is the wisdom of camping with God. The greatest wisdom is association and connection with God. As long as you are connected with God, you are called a wise man. The Bible said there came men from the east to worship baby Jesus. And when they came to worship baby Jesus, after they left, they were named wise men. So